Welcome again to the learning portal for the DP accounting software. Database Providers, based in San Diego, California, proudly develops, distributes, and supports this software. In this video, we are going to talk about business invoices and the invoicing process, features, and functions. Our objectives are to define what is a business invoice. Then, using the DP accounting software, demonstrate how to add a new invoice and how to search and find invoices using the various filters provided. View the account receivables report along with other reporting options. In addition, demonstrate how an invoice can be deleted if entered in error. To speed up the entry of invoices, demonstrate how an invoice can be copied to save data entry time. And lastly, how to view the printable version of an invoice along with how to email an invoice with a simple click. Now let's get right into it. Let's first begin by providing a definition of an invoice. An invoice is a document provided to another party that lists the goods or services provided or rendered, along with the total amount owed for them. In other words, it's a request for payment after work has been successfully rendered. Why are invoices important? Invoices track what customers owe. Invoices can help companies receive payment in full, on time, serve as records of sale, and provide a way to track the sell date of a goods or service. Invoices track how much the business charged for the good or service and any outstanding balances the client owes. And finally, invoices track where your income came from. Detailed invoices will show the IRS exactly where your money came from should they question your tax returns. Now let's talk about invoice terminology. Invoice is a term used to indicate another party owes your business monies. Contrary to this are sales receipts, which is used to provide a receipt of monies paid by another party. Invoices are accounts receivable for the seller. Conversely, they are an account payable for the buyer. Let's explore the invoice module in the DP accounting software. Adding a new invoice is a breeze. Simply click on the Add Invoice button on the main menu. In our first example, we'll select an existing customer. You can do this by either typing in the name or using the drop-down option. If the customer chosen only has one billing address added in their customer record, it will automatically be added into the Bill to name section. Otherwise, use the drop-down option to select the Bill to name for this specific invoice. For more detailed instructions, please refer to our video on how to manage customers, which includes managing their bill to and ship to or job addresses. If the customer chosen only has one ship to or job address identified, then the job address section will also be automatically populated. This software automatically creates and manages the invoice IDs, a unique identifier. Invoice IDs should never be duplicated. The next invoice number, or ID, is shown in the invoice or reference number field. This should not need to be changed but should be verified. Enter the invoice date. The invoice date is typically when the goods or services listed have been shipped, rendered, or completed. For some businesses that invoice customers on a specific frequency, like once a month, for all goods or services rendered within the month, the invoice date entered is typically the month-end date. If payment terms have been added to the customer record, then the due date will use that payment term information and automatically add the due date. If not, then enter the due date. It is strongly recommended that payment terms be added to the customer record to consistently calculate invoice date to due date, which also eliminates data entry. If the customer has provided you with a purchase order number, enter that into the PO number field. If the customer has provided you with an account number, add that into the account number field. If you have created specific jobs within the customer and want this invoice to be linked to a specific job number, select the job number. The drop-down list will show you all jobs related to the particular customer of this invoice. To help differentiate one invoice from another, the ref field is provided. Enter a reference for what this invoice is for. Add something that you recognize and that is meaningful to you when looking at invoices from, let's say, the same customer over some time. In this example, I'm creating a monthly invoice for this customer for the services I have provided since the last invoice. In this example, we agree that I perform landscaping services at their residence twice a month. In this case, to provide the most accurate details for this invoice and by our agreement, I will add the 2 dates when this service was performed. Moving down to the Accounts section, the default income account, defined in the customer record, will automatically be added after the customer is chosen. Verify this income account. If this specific invoice is incorrect, select another income account using the drop-down menu. See our video on how to manage customers, which explains how to assign a default income account. See our other video, how to manage your business's chart of accounts to add or remove income accounts. You will notice the reference added above has been automatically copied into the reference field here. For this example, and for this customer and the services rendered, in the agreement we have, I will add the monthly service charge in the amount field. After reviewing the invoice information for accuracy and completeness, you have the power to click either Save and Close or Save and Add Next. Click the Cancel button if you do not want to save this invoice. In this example, we will click Save and Close. After clicking this button, the user will be asked if they want to email this invoice. If they choose Yes, and if the user of this software uses Microsoft Outlook for their email application, then an email will be created. In the body of this will be the details of the invoice, along with an attachment of the PDF version of the invoice. If the customer record has a bill to email address added, this email will use that for the to email address. This email is prepared, but not sent. The user should verify the content of the email, then simply click the Send button to send the email. If the email is not to be sent, just click on the top right of the email, and it will not be sent. The user will be prompted to save as draft. Click Yes to save as draft, or No to close without saving it as a draft. In this example, we will effortlessly add the customer to this accounting software and create an invoice. Click on Add New Customer. Enter the company name and complete street address. Use the second street line for additional street address information, such as an apartment number or suite number. Next, add the city, followed by the state, and lastly, the zip code. Select the customer's payment terms. Payment terms are defined as the default number of days the customer must pay the invoice, calculated from the invoice date. A net terms of 0 days selected means the invoice will be due immediately, or the payment due date will equal the invoice date. A net term of 10 days means the payment due date will be 10 calendar days from the invoice date. So if the invoice date is April 1st, 2024, the invoice will show a payment due date of April 11th, 2024. Next, select the default income account for the primary goods or services provided to this customer. This default income account will be used on each invoice created for this customer. This income account can be changed at the time the invoice is created. Adding a default incomer account here reduces data entry and keeps the income accounts consistent. Moving down into the Bill to Addresses tab, if the bill to address is the same as the main address entered above, click the Click here to copy the main address to bill to. Once added, double-click the address just added. For purposes of emailing the invoices to the proper person, enter a name in the Invoice to Name field and an email address in the Invoice to Email field. Once added, click the Back button to close this form. Moving to the Ship to and Job Addresses tab, if the ship to or job address is the same as the main address, click the Click here to copy main address to job info. A popular feature of the DP accounting software is the ability to define and manage multiple jobs for a single customer. This is very handy for customers who request your services for various jobs over time. Identifying separate jobs and job numbers allows you to track income and expenses per job number. For this example, we will add a job to replace the customer's west side fence. Once added here, any bills or expenses we incur in support of this job can be linked to this job number. Additionally, job numbers can be added to all invoices we create for goods or services rendered to this job. The software will take care of the rest once all this information has been entered and reviewed for accuracy and completeness. Click the Create New Invoice button, and that will start a new invoice by copying the customer name. If the customer only had one billing address added to save data entry time, that billing address will automatically be added to the Bill to Name section of this invoice. Otherwise, use the drop-down option to select the Bill to Name for this specific invoice. Suppose the customer only had one ship to or job address added to save time on data entry. In that case, the job address section of this invoice will also be automatically populated. Verify the next invoice ID. Once again, the software manages this and should never be changed, but it should be verified. Enter the invoice date. After the invoice date is added, the payment due date will be added based on the payment terms set in the customer record. If the customer has provided you with a purchase order number, enter that into the PO number field. If the customer has provided you with an account number, add that into the account number field. If you have created specific jobs within the customer and want this invoice to be linked to a specific job number, select the job number. For this example, we added a job to this customer record. This invoice is being created because we have completed the first milestone of the job, which is 50% complete, so we are invoicing 50% of the total job amount. The drop-down list will show you all jobs linked to the specific customer. In this case, we select the Replace Fence job. Moving on to the ref field, to help differentiate this invoice from others, we will enter a reference for what this invoice is for. We will add vocabulary about the 50% milestone payment for this example. Moving down to the Account section, you will notice that the default income account defined in the customer's record was automatically added. But, for this specific invoice, we are changing the default income account from maintenance services to installation services. Our business requirements and needs are to separate income from our day-to-day business of landscaping services and special projects or jobs that our customers request. Splitting our income between these two accounts allows us to track this. You will again notice that the above reference has been automatically copied into the reference field. I will add the 50% milestone payment in the amount field for this example. After reviewing the invoice information for accuracy and completeness, click Save and Close or Save and Add Next. Click the Cancel button if you do not want to save this invoice. For this example, our customer requests that all invoices be emailed to them. So when the message comes up to email the invoice, I choose Yes. Since Microsoft Outlook is used on this computer, an Outlook email is automatically prepared and displayed for reviewing and editing before sending. In the body of this document are the invoice details, along with a PDF attachment. Since we added an invoice to email in the customer record, that email address is added in the To section of this email. Note, this email has been prepared but has not been sent. The user needs to verify the content of the email and then click the Send button. Invoices can be copied to speed up the invoicing process. The best approach that requires the least effort is to search for an invoice from the same customer with similar details and copy it. In this example, we will copy an invoice from the previous month for this month's landscaping services. From the main menu, click on View Invoices. Then, using the party filter above, we will select a customer, which will result in viewing all invoices with a due amount greater than 0. To view all invoices from this customer, remove the greater than 0 filter by moving the cursor to the field and using the backspace button on your keyboard to delete the information. Once all the characters have been removed, click the Enter key on the keyboard. Another method to view all invoices is to click the Clear button and select the customer again. After reviewing the list of invoices, carefully choose the invoice that best matches the details for this month's invoice. Double-click on the invoice, which will open that invoice detail. To copy this invoice, click on the Copy button. Most of the information and details of the original invoice will be copied to this new invoice. The bill to and job address information will be the same in this example. We need to add or edit the invoice date. In addition, we need to update the reference field information for this month's service days. Once that has been updated, and if necessary, move down to the lower section and edit the details of the account and invoice amounts. After reviewing for accuracy and completeness, click Save and Close or Save and Add Next. If this invoice was started with an error, click the Cancel button at the bottom. In this example, we will click Save and Close. When prompted to create an email, we choose Yes. At this point, we will review the email for accuracy and completeness. It is encouraged to double-click the PDF of the invoice attached to this email. The PDF will be opened using the current computer's internet browser or the application set in the computer settings to view PDF file types. After a successful review, we can click the Send button in the email to send. Once this process is complete, the invoice list will be refreshed to show the newly created invoice. Once this invoice is created, it can be viewed by double-clicking it. With the invoice opened, there are many different features and functions that are available. We have already demonstrated how to copy this invoice. If the invoice was created in error, click the Delete button to delete the invoice. Furthermore, to view the customer's information, click the View Customer button. This opens the customer record, which provides all of the details about this customer. As a refresher, some crucial fields within the customer record are the payment terms, the default income account, the bill or invoice to tab, showing the various bill or invoice to addresses, the Ship To or Job Address tab, showing the various ship to or job addresses for the customer and the list of jobs created for this customer. Remember that adding jobs allows you to invoice by job and add expenses by job. When using this feature, profitability per job is a single click away. To return to the invoice, click the back button. To view this invoice in a PDF format, click the View Invoice option. Click the Email button to regenerate the email and send the invoice to the customer. The other option of recording receipts of payments towards this invoice is demonstrated in another how-to video. How to create a credit on this invoice, how to apply an existing credit to this invoice, and how to record a refund are also discussed and demonstrated in another one of our how-to videos. To close this invoice, click on the X in the top right corner. With the invoice view open, outstanding invoices can be shown in a printable view and sorted in two different ways. First, to view all outstanding invoices by customer, click View Outstanding Invoices by Customer. This opens a printable report that shows all invoices that have not yet been paid. If a customer is selected in the party field, the Outstanding Invoices printable report will be filtered to show only those invoices from the selected party. When the party is removed from the field, or by clicking the Clear button, the printable Outstanding Invoice report will show all customers with invoices that have a balance due. As you can see, this printable report is sorted and grouped by customer. An alternate printable report is that of Outstanding Invoice, sorted by aging. Aging is defined as the number of days past due. A positive aging day indicates the number of days past the payment due date. A negative aging means that the payment is not yet due or the payment will be due in X days. The next report option is one that groups outstanding invoices by customer and then by the aging of each invoice with a balance due. To close any of these printable reports, click the X in the top right of the report. Invoices can be searched using any combination of the filters at the top of the form. Search by party or customer, by purchase order number, reference or invoice number, job number, or by amount due. Note the result list of invoices displayed matches all filters added. Think of them as and for the criteria. For example, enter a customer. Notice the invoices have been filtered only to show that customer filters. Now select the amount due equal to 0, which shows all invoices paid in full. Now, change the amount due to greater than 0, and that filter will show invoices to that customer that have yet to be paid in full. Remove the amount due entirely, which removes that filter and takes us back to the original invoice list for just that customer. Remove the customer, and that takes us back to showing all invoices. In summary, and after watching this video, you should now understand what an invoice is and how they are used within a business. Furthermore, using this accounting software, how to create a new invoice, how to search and find existing invoices, how to view printable reports showing outstanding invoices, or in other words, invoices that have yet to be paid. View the different reports options, how to delete an invoice, how to copy an invoice, and view the invoice as a PDF, and finally how to email an invoice. If you like this video, please hit the like button below. Please subscribe to our channel so you can be notified when new how-to videos are released for this accounting software.